Hi people, it's Chilli here from Live Listen Erased. So what does glam rock, one-armed drummers, and one of the most expensive albums all have in common? That's right, we're going to be doing a 5-minute review episode on Def Leppard's 12th album, Diamond Star Halos. So let's get into this. Before I get into this review, I'm going to go on a very weird tangent, but hear me out here because it does have a point. The 80s had some very crap music, and also very good music. But looking back at it, it mostly sounds like a wet fart. It was time for the music scene to evolve, and evolve it did. And one of the genres that was about to change was the metal scene. Before thrash really hit its stride, we had the new wave of British heavy metal. At the same time that Def Leppard and Iron Maiden were making their presence known, America was making some noise with Motley Crue and Van Halen, who both were staples on the MTV channel. Big hair, leather outfits, and loud rock music were the new fashion statement. And of course this new style would be called glam rock, otherwise known as glam metal, aka hair metal. This new genre was an offshoot of metal if punk rock met David Bowie. Two diametrically opposite genres become one for a new generation of sex-crazy youths. I know I'm generalising the genre, but it's too long to get into, really. If it wasn't obvious already, then let me make this clear. I never really cared for the glam metal scene. It seemed too produced, too safe, and went for that MTV appeal to get fame so that their video could get airtime and get played on repeat. Glam metal became stuck on a hamster wheel and would eventually burn out as quickly as it came into existence. By the time the 24th of September 1991 would come around, the final nail in the coffin for glam metal would be sounded. Now all the bands I've mentioned before would go on to sell millions of records, and many still tour today actually. And Def Leppard are no different. In fact, they're probably one of the highest selling metal bands of the 80s, with over 100 million units sold as of the date of this recording. As well as this, they are survivors of the scene, overcoming massive obstacles, including their drummer losing an arm in a freak car accident. He then had to relearn to play drums without the use of one of his arms, and he is widely regarded as one of the best drummers in his field. That's just crazy. On top of this, they even put out successful records past 1991 with Adrenalize. And you know what? Not all the scene was bad. After all, Van Halen kicks ass, and so does Motley Crue. Whitesnake and Bon Jovi wrote some pretty cool tunes, and I don't mind some of Def Leppard's earlier stuff when I eventually got my hands on the Pyromania album. On the other hand, you also had over-the-top songs like Warrant's Cherry Pie, Quiet Riot's Come On Feel the Noise, and Wasp's Animal, Fuck Like a Beast. Jeez, that title's not even clever. And to be fair, when I heard Pyromania, I returned it after a week. The point I am making is that I was never a fan of Def Leppard because I didn't really like that style of music. But here I am checking out the music they release now, and I have to say, this album made me feel the same way I did back when I heard Pyromania. There are some good tracks on here with the first two songs, Take What You Want and Kick, but the album quickly loses its steam after this. The following track, Fire It Up, just fails to bring any hooks in, despite it being a crowd participation song. Maybe live it might sound better, but it's still a bland rock song. It also suffers a severe mid-album lull from the songs Liquid Dust to Gimme a Kiss. That's 6 tracks of average skippable songs. Also, Gimme a Kiss? You're not in your 20s or 30s, you guys are pushing your 60s. Is this song really necessary? Also on the album is not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 ballads, and while I find this more relevant to the band with their age, they still sound a little bit off. I mean, 2 of the songs, This Guitar and Lifeless, which both feature country artist Alison Krauss, are country songs. And it feels a little bit unnerving to hear a band from England doing US-style country music. It's just a no for me. Now, I felt it was relevant to do a review on this 80s band because of one reason, and that reason was Steel Panther. With the glam metal songs of the 80s, they always walked a fine line with the censors, always working with clever puns and double entendres, pushing the envelope of masterful writing, of what could be said versus what could not be said in a song. On the other hand, many of the songs were as blunt as a hammer with their message and really lacked any flair. With time, these songs have lost their tenacity, but I'm guessing that back then it would have been wild. I'm merely guessing as I didn't live through the early 80s, unless you include playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City, so my point still remains and I continue to dismiss this genre. Steel Panther, though, brought back the 80s music into the limelight in the 2010s, recreating their own versions of 80s tunes with over-the-top lyrics about sex instead of beating around the bush. If you're not familiar with Steel Panther, they are a parody band and take their image from the 80s MTV glam metal scene while writing songs called Eating Ain't Cheating, 17 Girls in a Row, Gangbang at the Old Folks Home, and The Shocker. It's absolutely hilarious and takes the piss out of the 80s scene, and the band write incredible songs to match. This is why I enjoy Steel Panther so much, and it got me to look at the glam metal scene a bit more, and thus this record. Overall though, this album just doesn't do it for me, and I have to rate it 400,000 chilies on the spicy scale. I still don't care for the band, and this album didn't win me over. I don't think any of their albums will, really. It will be interesting to see though, if after surviving for so long, how they proceed moving forward, as the numbers on Spotify are fairly low, but it is still early days. Will the band overcome its adversities to find a place in the 21st century, or are they just a legacy band? Let me know below, and this is Chilli signing out for 5-minute reviews. I hope you have a great day and stay spicy. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Live Listen Erased. And if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you share it with all your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our Chilli Con Carnage Crew so you can get notified for all the future videos that we put out, as we put out videos every Friday. Also, we are on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter over at Live Listen Erased, so make sure to tune in over there. And don't forget to like this video so that our manager can stay very happy.